Question for you. What if you could hit your 1-year goals in 1 month? Just food for thought. What would that do for your life if you hit your 1-year goals in 1 month? We're going to talk about that today. This is the Path to Mindset Mastery podcast. My name is Brad Bizjack. I'm a mindset strategist and coach, inspirational speaker, and creator of Appreciation Academy. And this is the Path to Mindset Mastery podcast. We're here to help you maximize your life, to help you elevate your mindset, your career, your relationships to a level beyond anything you ever thought possible. This is where we're going to break through everything holding you back from the life that you really want. And I brought up that question for a reason. What if you could hit your 1-year goals in 1 month? And the reason is because most people make the critical mistake of setting safe goals. I was on a coaching call a couple days ago with someone that won a one-on-one coaching call with me. And we were talking about a goal that this person had for next summer. Right? It was this dream that it wasn't a dream. It was just the next step in her business, right? It was the next rank in her business. And it was set for next summer so that she could go to a retreat and all that stuff. And I challenged her. I said, is that what you really want? Do you really want to do that? And she's like, well, yeah, that's the next step for me. But you could tell there was a resistance. You could tell that this goal was set out of safety. This goal was set out of, that's realistic. That's something that I think I can make that happen if I really try, which is a big red flag to me. If your goals are something that you really think you can make happen if you put in the time and the effort, then they're not big enough. They're not big enough. They're holding you back. Why? Because that means you're not going to become a different person. And so I challenged her. I said, what if you hit that goal in 2 weeks? What if you hit that goal in 2 weeks? What would happen? She goes, and she was like, I don't know. And she wasn't really excited about it. I said, okay, question for you. What do you really want over the next year? What do you really want? What's the thing where in a year from now, you would feel fully alive if you achieved that goal? And she said this rank that was way further than that initial one she said. I said, okay, question. What if you did that in the next month? And she started to get, her heart started to beat faster. She started to get a little bit overwhelmed and like, oh my gosh, how would I ever do that? She was like, how the F is that going to happen, right? It was this whole new state change. And something interesting happened. She started to think of new ideas of how she could do it. Why? Because it was a goal that she didn't know how to hit. It was a goal that was outside of her comfort zone. It was a goal that made her become a different person. It was a goal that would make her detach from the outcome. It would make her say, you know what, my worth isn't based on that outcome. It's a goal. This is a goal that makes me become something more. And she started to get excited. We started to reverse engineer how to make that happen. And so the reason I ask you this is, let me share one more story actually before I tell you this. One more story. I have a high performance coaching client, and she was a music teacher, incredible human being, someone I've known for years. She's a music teacher. And she has this goal of replacing her full-time income with teaching. And she wanted to do that through a brick and mortar health and fitness business where she would literally have her own studio, and she had the Megaformer like Pilates machines, and she would coach people and train them in those settings. And she wanted to replace her full-time income. And we were talking, and I was asking her about how many clients she was sending a month and all that stuff, and based on her current bandwidth, where's she at? And she said, in the next 4 to 6 months, if I keep up this pace, I can probably replace my full-time income in 4 to 6 months. And I challenged her. I pushed back. I said, what if you did it in 2 weeks? What if you did your 6-month goal in 2 weeks, equivalent of a 1-year goal in 1 month? What if you did your 6-month goal in 2 weeks? And her eyes lit up. She was like, oh my gosh, how'd that ever happen? But it doesn't matter how. It matters that she lit up from it. And she started coming up with these creative ideas. She put herself out there in a different way. She played all out at going after this goal. And not only did she go and replace her full-time income in the following 2 weeks, but in the following 2 months, she doubled her full-time income at teaching. She was able to leave that job, and now she's in the process of getting a small business loan, starting a studio. All this incredible stuff is happening in her life because she had the courage to take a long-term goal and speed up the timeline. And so the reason I ask you this is because your goals that you want to achieve over the next year, who would you have to become to do them in the next month? You've had situations in your life where once you decided to make it happen, it happened. Maybe it was getting your kid into a certain daycare. Maybe it was buying a car. Maybe it was getting a job. Maybe it was taking over a role for someone. Maybe it was getting that first rank in your business. Whatever it was, or saving a certain amount of money, or buying that home. You have something in your life where once you decided, I am finding a way or I'm making the way. There was no other possibility and you did it, right? You found the way or you made the way. And then what happened? You came up with new creative ideas that you didn't otherwise know how to do. And when you did that and you applied it, you started to get feedback and new ideas, and things worked, things didn't work. You started to gather data on how to succeed, and things started to take off, and you achieved that goal. It might not have been in that same timeline that you wanted, but you achieved it so much faster than you otherwise would have. What if you applied that to every goal you have? What if you take your big dreams, your big goals, and you shrink down the timeline? Everyone is saying these days, expand the timeline so you don't feel like a failure when you miss your goals. The only reason that's the case is because people are tying their worth to an outcome. Your worth is not based on completion of a goal. It doesn't even matter if you hit this goal. It matters who you become in the process. That's what matters. And when you decide to make it happen, you call on a bigger level of resourcefulness within you, things start to change dramatically, very, very, very quickly. And so my question to you is, in this very, very short episode today, what do you want to accomplish in the next year? Who would you have to become to do it in 1 month? And get this, without violating your family priorities, without going against your values. Think about accomplishing that in 1 month and notice the state change. Notice the energy change. Notice the feelings in your heart. Notice your heart beat a little bit faster. Notice the feelings of nervousness or panic, or like, how am I ever going to do that? Notice that feeling. That's the same feeling that you get before you go on a roller coaster. How would that ever happen? This, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Well, that anxiety and excitement, they're fraternal twin sisters. In fact, anxiety and excitement have the exact same physiological response. One focuses on what could go wrong, one focuses on what could go right. In fact, fear is just imagination undirected. Faith is imagination directed. It's saying, yeah, I'm going to find the way or I'm going to make the way versus what could go wrong. So just try this. What if you took your 1 year goal and said, I'm going to do that in a month? Who would you need to become? Remember, it's not about the outcome. It's not about actually doing it. It's about becoming the person that becomes capable of doing it. From that state change, what happens to your creativity? What happens to your ideas? What happens to how you take the goal more seriously? Have you ever noticed that when that goal is far off and there's no urgency, there's no deadline, it's kind of like, I'm going to procrastinate. I'm going to look at all these other things. You focus on the strategy too much. How does this Instagram bio look? How does this email campaign work? Stuff doesn't matter nearly as much as the energy that goes into it, right? It's just glorified procrastination. And so if you push off that goal too far, you start to just dilly-dally along the way, and you kind of take your time and take it easy, and it's just kind of blah. And you find that you likely don't even hit that goal. And when you don't even hit that goal because you're attached to the outcome, because that's the reason why you set it so far away, then you don't hit it because you're not inspired and motivated to do it. Then you get these stories in your head that said that goal is never going to happen. Then this goal gets put on a big pedestal, and you feel like it's this huge insurmountable thing to achieve, when really it's super, super simple. And you could do it this week if you want to. You could do it this month if you wanted to. It takes a different version of you. So think about what it would take, who you'd have to become to make that happen. Taking that goal and shrinking the deadline, turning that deadline more closely to where you are now, that's going to take thinking in a completely different way than what created your existing life right now. So that's my challenge to you. Speed up the timeline of your goals, not for the certainty of completion, so that you can show yourself that you can become a new person. So you can think differently and get excited in a different way. I promise you, it will change your entire life. You will speed up success so fast. You'll get more done in a month than you used to in 2 years. It will change your life. And if you want insights into maybe why this has been your default operating system to kind of push things back, I created a quiz. It's called What's Your Unique Success Archetype? It's going to show you how you currently think about success. It's going to break down it's going to put you into a bucket and show you how you kind of think. What are the beliefs? What are the thoughts? What are the things that are predicting your success? What's holding you back from success? It'll give you amazing insights into how to get to the next level of success so much faster, so that this concept I'm teaching you doesn't sound far-fetched, so that it doesn't sound like this insane thing. It's totally free, takes like 60 seconds to do. It's linked up right below this episode. It's called What's Your Unique Success Archetype? Take the quiz to find out right now. You can also find that at quizzes.bradbizjak.com. Again, that's quizzes.bradbizjak.com, so you can find out what's your unique success archetype, find out your strengths, your weaknesses, and how to shift, so that shrinking that goal down to closer timeline becomes easier for you to do. Go take that quiz right now. And also, if you found value in this episode today, make sure you share this on Instagram and social media. Take a screenshot, post on your stories, help other people see the beauty in what we're sharing here. It's going to help other people change their life. And if you feel compelled to do so, leave us a rating and review on your podcast listening service. When this gets more ratings and reviews, more people find it more easily, which allows us to change more lives and impact the world to become a better place. So thank you so much for tuning in to the Path to Mindset Mastery podcast. Make sure you go take the What's Your Unique Success Archetype quiz right now at quizzes.bradbizjak.com. You can find it linked up below. And also take that 1 year goal, shrink it down to 1 month, and watch what happens to your physiology. Watch what happens to your state. It will light you up. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Path to Mindset Mastery podcast. My name is Brad Bizjak. Go out there today and every day and live your life with a genuine smile on your face. I'll see you next week.